Previously on Baseline to Pro. My whole life I've had a dream of becoming an ATP ranked tennis player, but in 2022 my tennis journey came to a stop. I had some problems with my heart, which meant I had to take an indefinite break from any exercise whatsoever. Once I was given the all clear, I had to execute a slow return to exercise, and I could feel that my tennis was just not at the level where it used to be. So, in the beginning of 2023, having missed competing so much, I decided to jump in at lower level tournaments in the UK and try and work my way up to my old level. My first couple tournaments were county level grade 4 tournaments. I struggled in my first match back, but subsequently I was able to win my next 5 matches, securing a tournament win. I then progressed to playing grade 3 regional tournaments, where I won 6 out of 7 matches, making a semi-final and getting another tournament win. In my next tournament, I fell over on a slippery court and ended up potentially fracturing my wrist, which then stalled my momentum because I had to take another break from tennis and do a month of rehab. Having missed 3 of the 4 National British Tour tournaments that I planned to play, my wrist healed in time to play the last one. I ended up losing a 2.5 hour battle, but it felt so good to compete at a national tournament again. Just finished my match. It was really fun, really close match. During that summer, I played 3 UTR money tournaments and 2 National British Tour tournaments, winning 7 out of the 13 matches that I played. And towards the end of that block of tournaments, I played 2 UTR 12s, both of them having had or currently have ATP points. The first one I lost but put up a good fight, and the next one I managed to win in 3 sets. At the start of 2024, I decided it was time to hunt down my first ATP points, and I started my Baseline to Pro series. Before trying my luck signing into ITF Futures tournaments, I spent a few months saving up money coaching, and I ironed out a few technical things in my game. And then, after overcoming some self-doubt, I decided it was time to dive in and play these pro tournaments. I did some research on what parameters would give me the best chance of getting into these tournaments as an alternate, and of the 8 futures I signed in at, I got into 5, and all of the futures I travelled abroad to, I got in. So on that front, it was a success, and it was great. However, my win-loss ratio was not so great. Including the wildcard tournament I played in Portugal, I lost 6 matches and only won 1. But to be honest, it's not that surprising. The level at these tournaments are really strong, and if you look at the profiles of people who have ATP points, you'll see so many tournaments where they lost first round before they started to figure out how to win at this level and get their first ATP points. However, the difference between them and me is that I've only played 7 matches this whole year, and these guys are playing futures every week or every other week, getting way more match experience and probably well over 30 matches a year. So the upshot is, to give me the best chance, I need to play way more matches. Now previously I was using all my budget exclusively on futures tournaments to try and get some ITF points to make it easier to get into the tournaments. But as I've learned, I'm not able to get the number of matches I need to perform well in pressure situations. For me, the price of one futures tournament roughly equates to 2 or 3 National British Tour tournaments, depending on where they are within the UK. So for the short term, I've decided I'm going to include a lot more British Tour tournaments within my schedule. Although you don't get rewarded with ITF or ATP points in these tournaments, the level can be pretty similar to a futures qualifying. I feel my game has improved so much within the last year, but due to lack of matches, I feel I'm not reaping the rewards of my hard work just yet within tournaments. And I feel it's necessary for my development to use some of my budget to play these tournaments to get more matches. So I've entered my first National British Tour tournament in over a year. This was a grade 1 main draw only tournament, and there was only space for 32 players, and I slotted in at number 24. I was drawn up against 27-year-old Thomas Pudney, who is in the same place as me with his tennis, coaching, competing and trying to get his first ATP points. So let's dive in to the day of the match. Alright, I've just arrived here at Edgbaston. The drive took a bit longer than expected, but it's a good thing I left plenty of time, and that's why you should always leave loads of time before you go to a tournament. Not really much to say here. It's kind of the same as my last few matches. Just trying to... Sorry, there's a car coming behind me, it just distracted me. Same as the last few matches, just going to be focusing on trying to stay focused the whole time and on what I want to achieve out of the match. Not so much the win or the loss, but trying to achieve my goals, and just think of it similar to how the practice matches were the last couple of weeks. Just making sure I'm breathing out on every ball, trying to recover a little bit closer to the baseline and get up for those shorter balls as quickly as possible, and making sure my body weight goes through a lot of these balls, especially on returns. And those are going to be like my 3 main focuses. And think of it, right, can I go through the whole match and get those things right the whole match? Focusing really good on the mental side the whole time. And then if I do that, I'm going to put my best level on the court. If I don't win the match, I don't win the match. It's just my opponent was better than me that day. But I know if I do those things, then I am putting my best level on the court. So let's see how it goes. Okay, so for this tournament, there was no practice courts available, which meant both me and my opponent were not able to get a hit before the match. So we just had to do a physical warm-up. And then when we were called, we just had to do our normal 5-minute hit and then get straight into the match. And right from the start here, I'm really just trying to focus on sticking to that game style that I've been practicing, playing nice and aggressive, taking on the returns, and really not giving up any opportunity to step up the court and be the one attacking and dominating the points. I did a good job at holding my ground along the baseline there during that rally, and on the return really getting my body weight through the ball, and that's really the way that I want to keep continuing playing in these return games. Always good to start the match with a break of serve, and now I've just got to back it up straight away with my own service game here. I've made a lot of first serves in this game so far, and that's definitely helping me apply the pressure and stay on the front foot. Got a little bit caught out with the speed and depth of that one, and that's the danger of trying to play a little bit too close to the baseline sometimes. You still have to respect the strong balls, but then really get up for the short balls and look for as many forehands as possible when the opportunity is there. That was a nice strong play there, so the last thing I want to do is frame any returns into the roof on the next point. Recovered from the embarrassment nicely in that point though, and I just need to keep that tennis moving forward and just trust if I make a few errors then it's okay, and just keep continuing to play that way, because that is the way that my tennis needs to develop, and that is the way that I'm going to win matches in the long run. A lot of scrambling going on behind the court in this point, and interestingly we can see that on that second serve return, that was the first time I actually really lifted on it, and it went backwards a little bit and didn't quite get my body weight going behind the ball. So interestingly, I am not controlling this point, Tom's controlling it, running me behind the baseline, so I really need to pay attention of that and notice that when I am stepping inside the court and I am applying a little bit of pressure, I'm dictating most of the points, but as soon as I lift early on in the rally, then I'm the one who's going to be having to do the running. I didn't notice him coming in there. I probably shouldn't be slicing that anyway, but definitely not if someone's coming into the net. Oh, really went for that return. I don't know if that's high percentage play, but I think if you really feel it in the moment, then it's okay to go for it, depending on the scoreline. Nice, that was a really good point there. I really feel like Tom's starting to find his game now, so from here on out, it's going to be a real battle for the points. There was some good rallies in that game though. It didn't quite go my way, but I just got to try and refocus for my next service game and keep applying the pressure. Oof, shot. Maybe could have done a little bit more on my volley, but sometimes you just got to say too good. That was a really good passing shot. No, tactical error there on such a big point as well. 30-all definitely should not be coming in on that serve, especially after noticing how ineffective it was. Oh, but I did manage to stay brave there and take that forehand early. That is something that I definitely don't think I would have had the confidence to do if I hadn't been practicing that all the last few weeks. So that's really, really good to see there. Two mega points in a row there, really fighting hard to stay in this game. Just got to keep it going, keep trusting my game and keep moving forwards. It's really tough to watch there. I feel like I've actually played some really good tennis in this match so far, dominating the majority of the points, but finding myself 3-all in an equal situation is just really tough mentally, as I feel like I've done more with my tennis to control the points, and just the unforced errors like that are just really what's killing me so far. There's not many of them, but they're coming at a crucial stage, and it's just the confidence to keep moving through the volley or finish off the points. That's what's kept Tom in this set so far and put him in a place where he's equal and has a chance to take the lead now in this next game. And we can see straight away in this game just the score line being the same, 3-all, Tom getting a couple more games on the scoreboard. It's really influenced the way that he's playing, and he's really taken control of more points, and we can really see a bit more energy in the way he's moving, and that's just tough. And I think it mentally made me feel a little bit more down, and I lacked a little bit of commitment on my next few shots. I definitely feel like my mentality dropped a little bit in that game, lost a little bit of focus, maybe staying too much in the past, thinking, how am I 4-3 down with the way that I've played this whole set? And just those 1 minute or 2 minutes of lack of concentration has really contributed to me being a breakdown now and giving Tom the opportunity to serve out the set. All right, so that was the first set, and whilst I was sitting down here, I was just really thinking to myself, how did that set run away from me? I started well, I was playing good, and then before I knew it, I was 5-3 down and then lost the set. So I just really tried to refocus and try and visualize the way I was playing at the start and try and start that way for the second set. And I just reminded myself what my goals were. I said at the start that let's not focus on the outcome, let's focus on what I can do to really improve. And those key focus points of trying to take the balls earlier where possible, go through the shots, breathe out on the contact, all those things. So I just refocused on what I actually can control. great start to second set there, and I just told myself to keep focusing on what I control and try not get distracted by external things happening. So after that point, the ref actually came down because she noticed that the net was the wrong height, so she clipped in the bit at the bottom, and then we carried on after. But it's just funny that we've been playing a whole set with the net like an inch and a half too high the whole time. I do feel like in some of these rallies in this game, I have played a little bit more passive than I did in the first set. I feel like there's some opportunities that I could be hitting forehands. I'm choosing to hit backhands, just rallying it back, and I'm not getting up the court for some of those shorter balls. And this is making the rally length go longer, and I'm not really applying the same pressure that I did before. Alright, I broke a string towards the end of that rally, which is why I went for the drop shot there. Bit annoying timing, but it is what it is. So I just tried to move on, and my other strings were RPM, which I had been using for the last year, so it wasn't too big a change, and it didn't really make a difference to the way that I played. That was a big forehand, that one. I think partly trying to let out a little bit of frustration with the scoreline. But yeah, that's the way I need to be hitting those balls on those floatier ones. Really going through it, flatten it out, and really get something going through the court. I was frustrated at myself there because I think the ball was out, but I didn't call it, and I wasn't too sure about it. It could have clipped the line, so maybe the right decision not to call it in the end. But yeah, frustrating because another break of serve there. Now I'm going down in the second set. Some of these points are so entertaining to watch back, but really annoying whilst you're playing, because you're creating good opportunities. You come into the net, you've got chances to put the ball away, and then you just don't do it, and you end up losing the point. So it's mentally quite tough to take whilst you're playing, and you just try and have to refocus. And I'm telling myself that I'm doing the right thing and creating the right opportunities, but you just got to be a little bit more clinical finishing that point off. This here was a good bit of sportsmanship. I didn't call the ball out, but I think it might have been a couple centimetres long. And Tom said that when he hit the ball, it felt like it was long to him. So we decided to replay the point. Yeah, it doesn't happen very often like that, but it was definitely a good bit of sportsmanship. Okay, so this just cracked me up. I've just realised that two guys on the balcony have decided to do a little bit of commentary for me on the next few points. So I'm going to let them take over and hear what they have to say.
Say hello, YouTube.
How are you? Good?
No, I'm not saying it.
Say hello, YouTube.
Alright, I'll say it when he's midpoint. I say it on match point. Oh, match point. I'll just commentate. Hey, YouTube, have you got cameras right? Oh, dodgy volley there.
I mean, they're not wrong. That was a pretty bad volley, to be fair.
No, I'll actually do a comment. Oh, second serve incoming. See what the thought process is with this one. It's gonna go kick wide, I think. Yeah, good aggressive tennis. Oh, and he's just missed up the line. Good intention though, good intention. Should be happy with that one. He's doing quite hard to be fair.
Alright, that seems to be it from the commentary, so thank you to whoever that was. But being 4-1 down now, I definitely need to find a way to refocus and get back into the set.
Yes, I do. One of the two has been gone.
This is a really long rally here on the big point. I'm just trying to stay tough, really neutralise whenever I'm under pressure and look for any opportunity I have to keep attacking. That was a good backhand line there. It's actually one of my best shots and I feel like I haven't used it enough in this match so far. Okay, so I managed to get one break back there. Now it's time to use that momentum, try and gain a little bit of confidence and apply it into my game and really put a lot of pressure in the service game and do my best to hold. I did actually call a let here, but I changed my mind and gave him the point because I didn't feel like the ball affected his smash in the end. So I just gave him the point and then we carried on from there. I like that mix up there with the serve and volley. That was definitely a better one to do it on than the one I tried to do it on in the first set. Okay, good strong hold there. I'm finally back in the set and now I've got a chance to use that momentum going forward to try and bring it into a third set. That was another great rally there, and I actually managed to win that one. So many long rallies in this match where I've been dominating the point and coming forward. I haven't been able to finish it off, but that one there with a good drop volley to finish, I was able to actually get the upper hand and finish it off. Well, I think that volley there was probably the best shot I've hit in the whole match. The ball was dropping so close to the net, so I just had to get under it with as much spin as possible, and I managed to curve away so that he wasn't able to get a good contact on it. Another deuce game, and that was such a crucial point there. Really needed to make that forehand. I had the opportunity there to finish it off, but for some reason it just came off the frame. Maybe I took my eye off it at the last moment, I don't know. But yeah, really tough, and I was pretty annoyed at myself in the moment there. But with a bit of good fortune, I find myself back at deuces, so I just got to keep fighting and try and get through this game. Alright, that's the way to respond, and I really tried to pump myself up here. I rarely get the fist pump out, but this time I did it because I really needed to try and push myself to keep going when it's so close to the finish line. Oh, that was a massive passing shot of my backhand. Love that one there. I'm actually playing some quality tennis in this match. It's just a shame that the scoreboard's not going in my direction. But I've done what I can to apply the pressure, so now it's just up to Tom to see if he can hold his nerve and serve out this match. Okay, so there we have it. I didn't get the win, but I do feel like this was a big step in the right direction. I feel like I was playing really positive tennis. I was coming to the net loads. I was taking advantages to take the ball early. I feel like there were some times where I made a few unforced errors and I wasn't clinical enough at the net. But overall, I feel like it was a good match. I think in the second set, my aggressiveness on the returns dropped a little bit and I wasn't dominating enough from the start of the rally. But I also feel like Tom upped his level as well, so it made it a little bit more 50-50 in a lot of those situations. At the end of the match, I spoke to Tom and he actually told me that he was a subscriber to the channel, which was really nice to hear. And we had a good chat, and he actually thought that I was a little bit over fair in some points in this match. He thought there was some line calls that I was a bit generous on and some decisions where I was a bit generous. So that was interesting to hear. But yeah, good match, and let's dive into my thoughts straight after. All right, how do I feel after that? A bit mixed, to be honest. I felt like I played some good tennis and I was doing what I was trying to do. I felt like I wasn't playing defensive. I was taking the right opportunities to move forward. I couldn't finish it off sometimes at the net. I found it quite difficult on these courts to really put it away. I've been training on quicker courts than these indoor courts. And Tom was really good at getting a lot of balls back in play. And like, I just felt like I did close out some good ones at the net, but then there was just a lot of opportunities that I could have put away that I didn't. And I feel like that was quite a key thing. And the other thing was the big momentum changes. When I was 3-1 up and then to 3-2, and then that 3-2 game where it went to juice for ages. I think if I went 4-2, it could have been like a really different story. Went to 3-all, lost a bit of momentum. Maybe my head went a little bit. He started getting more confident, started playing a bit better. And then he kind of just ran away with it, and I didn't really impose my game as much as I did in the first few games. Maybe went slightly more passive, but not that much more passive. And yeah, that was the first set. And then second set at the start, he was playing well. And then I didn't really get going as well as I did until halfway through that second set and started coming back a bit. And then a couple of tough points towards the end there, and it just went his way. But yeah, I'm going to have a think about this match. I feel like it was a step in the right direction though. I feel like I keep playing like that, I keep trying to do the right thing, and I'm going to get somewhere with what I'm trying to do.